All right, guys, we're back. Southeastern 16. Max Barr is here. College basketball season is here. Max, it's 40 degrees outside. It's 30 degrees in the garage. I wouldn't have it any other way than getting this new season started. The jacket's on. It's cold outside, but boy, it's starting to heat up inside because, man, these games are going to be terrific. I don't care if most of these games tonight are 25-plus point spreads, except for one. We're going to talk about that one, of course. But, man, tremendous stuff coming. College basketball season is here. And Max Barr, we are presented by FanDuel. Are you ready to get this thing going?
Am I ready? Blake, it's already going. We got Queens up by a basket right now. There's hoops being played. It's already tipped off. We're already here.
We forgot to do that preview.
We're just getting rolling for it. Man, summer flew by. I can't believe it. Chris is ready to go. Everybody hop in. It's game day. You notice, Blake, the title, the thumbnail today. First time in 6 months we've been able to say game day. Yeah. We're here.
It's here. It is here, and we're going to talk all about tonight's slate and give you some fun stuff as well. Max and I are going to reveal. We did our fantasy college basketball draft yesterday. We are going to reveal our teams at the end of the show. So that is a deal that you have coming up here as we will reveal our teams. One of us went a little more SEC heavy than the other, but we'll get to that here in just a bit. Before we do, Max was holding up his nice shiny cup. Florida, the defending national champions, as we know. They are the champs, and Max got his cup at GameTimeSidekicks.com. You can see my nice SEC cup here. There's the Gator ready to chomp again, but look at that hog. Looks a little mysterious beside the Gator. With Arkansas. Take a bite out of the Gators this year. We'll find out. But everybody else can, take a bite out of don't do that. Don't take a bite out of your cup at GameTimeSidekicks.com. It's tremendous, as you know. Officially licensed stainless steel drinkware. Every SEC school. Over 350 more universities as well. Maybe you could get a Queens or Winthrop Cup, Max. They're currently playing right now. You could order one of those if you're all in now on one of those teams. Everything from stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, shaker cups. If you want that special discount, 20% off for our viewers. SE16, 20% off. GameTimeSidekicks.com. All right, let's begin. Max, we're going to begin with the big game of the night. We did preview it in a separate video. Actually, preview the two games that are going to take place in that Las Vegas setting tonight. Florida, Arizona, BYU, Villanova. You can find individual game previews for those two here on the channel. As we said, we're going to be expanding our coverage a little bit this year, talking about some more national games of significance and all that. Max, any changed thoughts you've had on this Florida-Arizona matchup? I think the thing I said in the preview is that which one are you laughing at? There's so many you could kind of
Hogball just he gets in and goes, let's see what havoc we can cause.
Well, it's too early to start. We're 5 minutes into the first live stream of the season. There will be plenty of havoc this year, probably more so when we get closer to January. But no, plenty of overreaction, as Chris said, potentially for this game tonight. Anything changed on your thoughts on this matchup? As I said, I think this is a really good Arizona team, and I think Florida cannot overlook what is a pretty good squad there for Tommy Lloyd.
Well, after we posted the preview, a lot of you guys know I referenced the Trilly Donovan Discord a lot. It's got the burner ball stuff, great stuff they're doing over there. And the Arizona chat, I was talking to them because they help me out with the depth charts that I do. And they were saying they feel very confident that Jaden Bradley Burries can get downhill on Xavier Lee. And now, Boogie Fland is a bit of a nationally underrated defender. If you look at Arkansas's defensive efficiency numbers before and after Fland, there's a difference there. But the Arizona faithful feel very confident that they could take advantage of this new look backcourt with their seasoned veteran and freshman combination that they've got. So I was just thinking, like, okay, is there a chance Boogie, he's been a little bit banged up. Maybe he doesn't play 35 minutes and it's more like 25. And there is some stretches of play where Jaden Bradley, Braden Burries, those guards are getting downhill, causing a little foul trouble, breaking the game flow up. It wasn't something I was putting too much faith into, but the Arizona fans, I'm telling you, Blake, they feel confident that these guards have a little bit of an edge.
Well, they may, and we'll find out if that's the case. My problem with Arizona is if you get downhill, you're about to run into some trees because the problem is you could get past the guards on the perimeter maybe, but I don't know if you love your chances going up against trying to score on the guys in the front court for Florida, and I think that could be something that certainly stands out here. Can Florida, force some of those tough shots for Arizona, especially inside the arc? I think that will be maybe a story because, as we said, rebounding too will be a main theme, not just this game, but the entire season for Florida. I just think having all those guys back, they're going to be a relentless rebounding team again, especially on the offensive glass. And I think, as we may have mentioned this in the preview, if you were to say that Florida may not shoot the ball as well and, may miss a few more jump shots this year, potentially, right? Then I think it's, that's where the offensive rebounding stuff comes into play maybe a little bit more. And we'll find out. Like I said, it's a great test for both teams because I do think Arizona is the kind of team, as you just said, could be a team that could give Florida a few issues. Obviously, I think that the freshmen really want to see, as you said, Braden Burries, Koa Pete for Arizona. I want to see how they kind of acclimate. I mean, what a first game, right? Hey, first game of your college career, right. You get to go against the champs. And so, I want to see kind of, how they're used in that rotation and what they try to do. We mentioned, Mo Krivas had 17 in that exhibition game against St. Mary's rebounding-wise, and Toby Awaka didn't play in that one. And I think rebounding was kind of a theme, and we mentioned how good of a rebounding team St. Mary's should be once again. So we'll see. I think that's going to be the thing for Florida. Knowing you're playing a team here, I don't necessarily think, outside shooting is going to be their strength at all. But as we said, Tommy Lloyd wants his teams to attack and get to the free throw line. So I think like all those are potential storylines in this game here.
I think that the one thing I'll be looking for, mainly just to learn about both of these teams going forward, is the depth in the backcourt. How does Urban look? How does Alex Lloyd look? CJ Ingram? We haven't seen these guys. Where you turn to Arizona, and we've watched Del Orso for a few years. You know what you're going to get from Mo Krivas, even though he was injured. Evan Nelson, his stats that he's put up mid-major level. So it's like you have a little bit of an idea of what Arizona is going to be bringing off the bench. We've heard tons about Alex Lloyd. Neil Blackman was filling us in on how CJ Ingram's really caught up to speed with how Todd Golden wants to play the offense. So I want to see the depth and just how are we going to rely on these guys coming off the bench behind Zabian Lee, Boogie Flan, and then the biggest question of all for Florida, what does it look like when Tommy H isn't at the three? All those questions I'm going to be looking for.
Alan's watching the stream right now at work. Says if he gets written up, who cares? It's worth it. I agree, Alan. We can't write you like a little, like a note to say you have been approved to watch this stream, but if we need to, let us know. Come on, ChatGPT could write us one up easily, and we could get that to you within the hour, I'm sure. All right, so again, we did a full, almost 20-minute preview of Florida and Arizona, so you guys can watch that on the channel. Check it out after you watch the stream if you haven't already. Again, lots of more in-depth thoughts on that particular game. All right, Max, one of the other themes here, and remember, we'll get back. We're going to get to your Super Chats. Remember, that's the best way to support the channel. Super Chats, all this kind of stuff. Be sure to leave those because we might give you a special gift at the end of the show. Also, remember, hit that membership button to join the memberships. We're going to introduce a few new things this year in terms of once we get closer to SEC play. So you may get to join in on our membership live for predictions, Max. We may be doing that a bit more this season, doing all of our predictions live. So, you'll want to be a member for that. But, okay, let's talk about one of the other themes we have in the title here, and then we're going to kind of bounce all over the place. Yep. I think one of the top storylines for me is excited to see the freshmen, not just because some of these are represented on my fantasy team now, but also a little nervous about some of these guys. But yes, I think freshmen max the theme here, and specifically looking at Arkansas and Tennessee. For me, sure, we can apply this to other teams as well, and seeing how some of these new guys step into their roles. But I think, with these two in particular, we talk so much about the studs for both of these teams, and what Acuff and Thomas and Ament, like all these guys can do. And I think, will we learn a lot in a game where Tennessee's favored by, I think, 27.5 against Mercer, Arkansas is favored by 24.5 against Southern. I don't know, but I'm still excited to see some of these top-tier freshmen step onto the court here this season.
Yeah, for Nate Ament in Tennessee, it's really, I'm just looking for efficiency. Him and Gillespie, I don't know what the combined, it was like 10 for 40 or something like that, them combined. Ament 0 of 5 from 3. And then I want to see him be a little bit more of a passer. I don't know if he had an assist against Duke. And when you watched the game back, he was never really looking to pass. So I'll just be looking for efficiency from Ament. Should be able to get to his spots here. And if he wants to take 20 shots and rise up over the Mercer defenders and take contested twos, he could probably do that every single possession if he wants to. So I'm looking for a little bit more efficiency, get everybody else involved, and then dominate the glass, Blake. Dominate the glass. What did we talk about with Tennessee for the past 6 months? Gosh, I love this size. Gosh, I love this size. Gosh. Boozer comes in 23 rebounds. Destruction on the glass. So I want to see the physicality really be implemented. But Blake, did you dive into this Southern team?
I mean, yeah, like where were they picked? So I had this pulled up here.
Second in the SWAC.
Yeah, second. That's what I thought. I was trying to think it was second or third.
Or SWAC or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, look, Southern is a team too, and I feel like I had this somewhere, and you know how this works. Game 1, you should see like the notes and how scattered they are. Crazy. Because you just got so many teams you're trying to pull from. But like we've seen Southern be kind of an interesting team, right? I mean, last year, what was it? I feel like we talked about them a little bit last year. They lost by 13 at Ole Miss, 17 at A&M, lost by 15 at Iowa. Sure, got blown out at USC, got blown out at Nebraska. And even I think, was it the year before? I mean, they played, again, some pretty tough competition. So, yeah, like it's a capable roster. There's no question about it when you look at Southern. And, again, that number right now at FanDuel for Arkansas is, what do we say, 24.5?
It was 24 this morning.
24.5. It's a little bit on the lower end of these games tonight for most teams. So that's at least something worth noting.
Well, if you mentioned that Ole Miss game, Southern lost by 13. But
it was, yeah.
Southern had a lead in the second half. They were up.
That's right. Yeah.
They were up 42-41 with 18 minutes left. That's not deep into the second half at all. But, I mean, hey, at halftime, a few minutes into the second half, totally a ball game. The reason why I think this is really interesting, this Southern matchup, and talking about the freshmen. Southern last year, if you're looking at analytics, their offensive efficiency was sub 300. Very, very poor. Their defense, though, finished 127. Real good compared to what that offensive efficiency is. They were top 20 out of every stat you can look, offense and defense. Southern was only top 20 in the nation in 2 categories: turnover rate, steal rate, both defensively. They got guys that can force some havoc. And, hey, that's a great test. Game 1 for Acuff, Thomas. See how this backcourt's going to be efficiency-wise. I don't know. I know that one of their top leading stealers last year for Southern graduated, but still, that scheme, they force some havoc there, Blake. It should be a good matchup for the Arkansas backcourt.
Yeah, I think the front court will probably define this game. I think Arkansas likely should have the advantage there. And I think that winds up being probably the difference in a game like this, where it's, you can just kind of grind them out eventually. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a notable storyline in this one. I would expect Arkansas to control the front court a bit if they're going to win this game handily, as the spread suggests. But, yeah, I mean, Meleek Thomas, really good. In that last exhibition game, we know kind of what Acuff's going to bring to the table And so I think, a lot of excitement for them. And like Nate Ament, I mean, I think you want to see exactly. So someone brought this up. Let me pull it up from Sean. It says, does he remind anyone of Michael Porter Jr.? Super hyped coming in, just wanted to rise up and take contested shots, never got used to college ball. Here's one of the things I'll say about that. That was a big talking point coming out of the Duke game. I don't know that that's necessarily his fault. I think it's the position he's put in, and I think you've got to structure his, structure the offense a little bit more to where he doesn't have to do that. I think you want to kind of do some of the same things where you're just trying to get him open shots and or give him open space to where he doesn't have to create every single thing himself off the dribble. But we'll see. I think to me, I'd put it a little bit more on, and remember, it's one exhibition game. I'd put it a little more on that than I would him, just based on what I saw in that game. So yeah, but we'll see how maybe they adjust from that, Max.
Yeah, they're not freshmen, but as Smith is talking about, or Sam Smith is talking about playing Boswell at the 2. Is it Amari Abram? We haven't really mentioned Ethan Berg and Masamba, the 2 internationals. Like loop the internationals into the freshmen, and I'm excited to see the Tennessee internationals because we really know what to expect in the front court on the wing, and Jacoby Gillespie should play pretty much every minute. Is it going to be Masamba, Berg, Boswell, Abram? I have no clue who's going to be the guy that rises up to really be that, sidekick to Gillespie.
Sam thinks it's Berg. We'll find out.
Yeah.
There, Anthony with a comparison here. Acuff and Thomas are Fox and Monk. Ooh. Hey, if that's the case, the Hogs are going to be sitting pretty come March if those guys play to that level. Because yes, those are 2 all-timers in terms of their contributions, I think. So, all right, how about Auburn's new era, Max Barr? That gets started tonight. Bit of a swing in the exhibition reaction to Auburn, right? Started off in game 1 against Oklahoma State. Oh, no. And then just came out and absolutely shellacked Memphis after that. So Auburn's going to host Bethune-Cookman. That's 7 p.m. Central. By the way, pretty much every game except for Florida, Arizona, which is on TNT or True TV. Already getting some True TV in November. You kidding me? In March form here. And then Missouri and Howard's on ESPN Plus, which don't get me started about how to find that with all this YouTube TV debacle going on right now. But everything else is on on the SEC Network Plus, except for Arkansas Southern, 6 p.m. Central Tip on the SEC Network proper. But yeah, Auburn, Bethune-Cookman. I think you're just excited to see. You kind of feel like you know what to expect in terms of the top producers, but to me, it's sort of what's everything else look like? So far, we've seen some, I think, positive feedback in terms of maybe Auburn not exactly having the drop-off that some people seem to think.
Yeah, well, we mentioned Southern was picked second in the SWAC. Guess who was picked first? Bethune-Cookman. This should be a really good one. I'm telling you right now, Arkansas is favored over Southern by 24.5 on FanDuel. Auburn is favored by 25.5 over Bethune-Cookman on FanDuel. I think one of those underdogs cover. These are 2 good teams picked top 2 in their league. Here is a quote from Stephen Pearl previewing this game. I got this from Justin Ferguson's preview. Pearl says, you're going to look at this Bethune-Cookman team and say, that is not a SWAC team. They have the size of an SEC team. You're going to look down there and be like, all right, they got some big dudes that can play. It's going to be a great test for our guys in game 1. Now, that is even more important given Sean Murphy's nursing that knee injury. We like to see what Jovic had a great game against Memphis, so you feel a little bit more confident about him. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Elijah Freeman. And SWA, Blake, is drawing some early bully ball watch list eyeballs. So watch out for him, but really just looking for the front court in this one. Coach Pearl's already said that they've got elite size for a SWAC team.
Jacoby Hetty, the player to watch out for, I think, on that one, right? Is that right? Is he still there? Is he still at Bethune-Cookman? Maybe I got the wrong. I'll try to find it. But I think according to Blue Ribbon, they have him as the SWAC. Yeah, so we'll see. I think we'll find out again a bit more because you like we said, you started to get into these. You get into these kind of games, right? Where it's just like, all right, this is an actual game. You're actually, you're trying to win the game. You're not trying to win the exhibition games and all that, but like there's a lot more structure, a bit more to it, and you kind of see how guys play through the different, aspects of an official game and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one just to kind of kickstart things for Auburn for sure. So, all right, Max, we have the chat livening up a bit, excited. Yep. And yeah, I think everybody's back. Like you guys are already in mid-season form here. Apparently we had a little coaches beef in the handshake line for Winthrop and
nice.
Queens. We are back. Game 1 already feisty, ready to go. So by the way, we're talking about comparisons earlier. Drunk Gator says, don't know if it's just me, but Thomas Houck reminds him of Michael Jordan, but 6'9". I think that's accurate. That's about right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sounds about right to me. But, okay, Max. And by the way, Jacoby Hetty is back at Bethune Cookman, by the way.
All right, there you go.
Good player, Central Michigan. So let's talk about some other stuff here real quick. And I'll give you the rest of the lineup. So for people who don't know, as we said, we'll run through the rest of the games. Missouri's at Howard at 6 p.m. That's in D.C., as we said, that one's on ESPN+. Bellarmine's at Georgia, 6:30 p.m. Central. North Dakota at Alabama, 7 p.m. Central. Northwestern State at Texas A&M, 7. Lipscomb at Vanderbilt, 7, that one. New coaching regime there at Lipscomb. Southeast Louisiana is at Ole Miss, also at 7. And then St. Francis is at Oklahoma at 7:30. Max, I'll give you quickly on mine. I think Missouri just going on the road, period, playing a game. Yeah. Like they're the only team doing it. So I think there's plenty to kind of, look at there. These are the kind of ones that you're always like, oh boy, we appreciate we're playing these games, but oh man, don't let it be a 3-point game with 2 minutes to go or, something like that. So, I mean, certainly have my eye on that one a bit just to kind of see how that looks there for Missouri. I think if you're looking at the Lipscomb Vanderbilt, when we talked about it, like Vanderbilt's been kind of the team that we've said really feels like the sleeper team and all that. And so I feel like, it's kind of one of those games where it's not an easy game. Lipscomb's going to be a bit of a, like we said, a new coach, new look a bit. But I think you want to see Vanderbilt come out and just, do what they do with the depth. And I think the things that are going to be on display this year. And by the way, with Howard, they do have Bryce Harris, expected to be the player of the year. There in the MEAC, so that's something else to note if you're a Missouri fan. But I think those are the two that catch my eye the most, Max.
Yeah, definitely. Quick little note on Vandy. Tyler Harris is going to be available. We didn't get it was undisclosed while he was held out of the last exhibition, but he'll be available. And they're going to be about a 26, 25-point favorite. And Lipscomb center. Really good center, all ASUN honors, preseason honors for Lipscomb center, and that's going to be important because the main questions around this Vandy team are, what's 5 going to look like? Is it going to be Nicholson, Washington, even split of both? We're going to go back to last year with Devin McLaughlin getting minutes at the 5, so be interested to see how Vanderbilt deals with all ASUN selection Charlie Williams. Back to Missouri, they're going to be right now they're 19.5-point favorite.
Which is low compared to the other games. Yeah.
Yeah. KenPom has Howard preseason 308. Bart Torvik has preseason 332. I disagree with both of those. I think Howard's more in the 200s. This was a team picked second in the MEAC. And last year these teams played at Missouri, and with 3:43 left, the score was Missouri 63, Howard 59. It was a 2-basket game with 3:40 left last year. And now you're going to Howard. And you mentioned Bryce Harris, picked for MEAC Player of the Year last year, only played a few weeks last year, got injured, missed the whole season. So analytically, the computers have not caught up to the new look Howard roster and having Bryce Harris back. So that's why you probably see one of the only games as a 20-point favorite, catching Missouri in the high teens here.
Yeah. Like you said, Harris only played, I think it was 8 games last year, played 28 against Missouri, had 11 points in that one. But, yeah, I'm with you. I think Howard's a little bit better than the computers seem to suggest, and it was a close game last year. But we'll see kind of how it plays out. I think one of the things that stood out in that one, Missouri was just terrible shooting the ball. 3 of 22 from 3 last year in that game. Pretty much got anything they wanted in terms of the 2. Got to the free throw line a lot. But, yeah, certainly need to shoot the ball a bit better this year, you would hope. So, Missouri at Howard, that's, as we said, the only one on the ESPN Plus service there on that. Anything else, Max, on these other games? I mean, look, we're not going to dive into the opponents necessarily, but anything that you're most interested in seeing when it comes to the remaining games. I think A&M for me would be one, just to see what buckyball looks like on night one in terms of, having everybody seemingly available. I think, is Mbako good to go, I believe, on that?
I don't think so.
No,
not 100%
not yet?
on that. I'm not 100%. Don't know on that yet.
There's a lot to keep up with.
He
but
put out
I
the
couldn't
post
remember.
this past week of saying like he's going to be back soon.
Okay. Well, we'll find out. Even if not, I think it's there's plenty to still look at with Texas A&M, I think, in that one. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be obviously Texas A&M, and we had a question earlier. I don't know if we start it, but it was DeVries asks, what SEC team do you think will play the fastest this year? Well, at 7 o'clock Central, tune in to Texas A&M against Northwestern State, and you'll see for yourself. That's going to be a fun one. And then, honestly, Blake, Alabama might be a 33-point favorite, but I want to see what this team looks like with Latrell Wrightsell, with Aiden Sherrill, taking the full reign at the 5, or is it going to be Williamson? I still don't have a feel for it. I want to see how the bigs look, and I haven't watched Latrell Wrightsell in a year. One of my favorite guys to watch. Can't wait to watch him. That one I'm not really worried about anything. It's a 33-point favorite, but I haven't seen some of these guys in a while. I'm excited to see the Alabama crew back in action.
All right. Let's see what else. I think we kind of answered Chris's question from earlier. Sam asked the most likely upset. I mean, I know someone mentioned like Arizona technically over Florida would be that, but I mean, if you're looking at the lines for the other games, like we said, I think Missouri's probably the lowest on the ones that are available, and we mentioned the reasons why that is the case. Perhaps there. Nick said you guys better get to recording all these previews today. So that's not going to happen, Nick. We are not going to be doing individual previews for every SEC basketball non-conference game. We will do that for some of them, but we will not do it for every single game the way we do during conference play. It's just not feasible for us to pull that off with how many more games there are in basketball. So, so that's it.
I can't find a line for Oklahoma St. Francis, Texas A&M, Northwestern State, Ole Miss, SELA, or whatever, Southeastern Louisiana, and Georgia Bellarmine. I can't find a line for any of those. So if anyone knows, because those are probably all going to be near 30-ish. Also, I think it's probably going to be the 2 tightest spreads. Will go obviously Florida, Arizona, and then Missouri. I don't anticipate any of those ones I just listed to be in the teens.
Yeah, we'll find out. Again, I don't think they're going to be listed anywhere else.
Yeah.
I don't think so. All right, let's tell you quickly about our friends, and then we got some other stuff we're going to get into. The Yearly Company, Nashville-based fine jewelry. If you're just so excited about basketball season, you just want to buy some jewelry. Well, that's one way to do it. Built on tradition, designed for meeting, each piece handcrafted from solid 14-karat gold. Reminds me of the chat, to be honest with you. Natural gemstones, made to measure for a perfect fit, backed by a lifetime guarantee. And because every Yearly Company bangle custom size, knowing your size, the most important step for ordering. If you're a husband out there, you're getting ready for the holidays, and you're like, I don't know the size, but I want to make my shopping effortless. Go ahead and get that sizing kit for free, 100% off at checkout for the sizing kit. Use the code SE16KIT at the Yearly Company, SE16KIT for 100% off over there. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. We're going to try to be better about this and dropping the links in the chat because that is important to get you guys to our sponsors. And you can also do the same with Rockform, the world's strongest magnetic phone case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock secure mounting. If your team loses tonight, you're going to need that Rockform case. Can't guarantee it'll be there today, but if you want to hold off your frustration on your team, then hey, wait a couple days, order from Rockform, 25% off, SEC25 over there, rockform.com, ROKFORM.com. All right. Now, Chris asks, who do we have in the second game? We both picked BYU. You can go check out our preview.
Yep.
We did on that, as we said. We'll be doing previews on the channel for other games as well outside the SEC this year. So check it out. Our BYU Villanova preview, about 15 minutes or so here on the channel. Lots of thoughts on that. And Max has a rooting interest in that game now, and we'll allude to what that means here in just a minute. But okay, let's see.
Did I say? How do you say? Sam's making fun of me for saying this name wrong. How do you say this name? Bellarmine? Bayermine?
It's
Bayermine?
Some people say Bellarmine. Some people say Bellarmine.
Bellarmine?
One of the two. It's Bellarmine or Bellarmine. I've seen people say it different ways. So I do the opposite every time. That way I'm going to get it right 50%
nice.
of the time.
Yeah. All right.
So
it'll be like a spinning wheel.
Yeah. All right. So as we said, a lot of big favorites in the SEC today. We'll do a quick look ahead to tomorrow. We're not going to preview those games. We'll do that tomorrow morning. We will today give you a Duke-Texas preview. That will be an individual video here on the channel. We're going to share some thoughts on Duke and Texas. Duke currently a 7.5-point favorite, I believe, the last time I looked there on that one, at least from the places that I have looked to find it. So I think, let me make sure see if we have an update on that. Again, guys, this is how you know it's game one. There are just so many games, and trying to filter out is a lot of fun. Yeah, I've seen 7.5 somewhere. I don't see it listed on FanDuel just yet, which makes sense, of course. The game's not until tomorrow night, so we'll get that spread a little bit later. But, yeah, thoughts on that one, Max? We'll give people, of course, Kentucky will host Nichols tomorrow as well. South Carolina hosts North Carolina A&T, so that's your slate for Tuesday. And what else you got on your mind, Max?
Just real quick, just a little bit of line movement on tonight's big ones. Florida is on FanDuel. Florida's currently -3.5, but it's -102. So you could honestly call that -3 flat, or even -2.5 for a -120. So that has actually come down a little bit. I think it was 4.5 at open, and even with the quick public reaction of holy smokes, I'm going to take the defending national champs, hasn't seen Florida get pushed out to 5 or 6. It's gone the other direction. But then BYU, Villanova, BYU out to 9.5. Wouldn't even be surprised if that gets out there to double digits, where it was sitting at like 8 all week. So looks like the BYU train's picking up steam here closer to tip time.
Yeah, it seemed a little low to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if we know if Dawson Baker, is he available yet? I don't know that.
Or
this is where
Pickens.
these injuries to start the season are. It's really hard to know who's playing and who's not until we know the exact specifics of these games starting. So, all right. So again, there is kind of your setup right now. Okay, so ESPN has actually updated a lot of their lines. And
okay.
Again, we won't have all these on FanDuel, but at least the ones that we're seeing listed here. Missouri, yes, 19.5 outside of the Florida game. That's your lowest. A&M, 20.5.
Interesting.
That seems interesting to me. Ole Miss, 22.5. So those are the lower ones on that. Georgia, 24.5. By the way, this is just what ESPN has on their schedule. Now I don't know exactly where these numbers and stuff are coming from, but all right, Max.
Interesting.
Chat. Get some questions rolling in. What questions do you have for opening day in college basketball? Remember, the best way to make sure we do not miss your question is a super chat. Right now, we are over on super chats. We're a half hour into the new season, and we're over on super chats. Now, I promised, I think earlier, or maybe I just did it in my head, if we got to 10 super chats, I'd do a nice Sanders read to commemorate the start of the new season. But if we don't get to that, no Sanders read today. We'll save that for the members. We will be back. I think the tentative plan is to be back tonight, Max, to kind of do a reaction to everything that's happening. Most likely we will start that after the Florida-Arizona game, since that is kind of the main event. And we'll just kind of give some thoughts live to the other games as they're happening as well. So
probably be back around like 8:30 Central.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Like, it'll be in that range. That's the plan. So turn on your notifications, all that stuff. Sam, I cannot tell you where Pat Adams is refereeing tonight. I do not know the answer to that. But I do like always pulling up the game notes early to see who's going to be on the whistle for some of these. So, okay, Max, do you want to we have a little fun here for a second? Do you guys want us to have a little fun here for a minute? So I know people always say, no one cares about your fantasy team. Well, that's in other sports, right? This is SEC basketball. In basketball, you should care about our fantasy teams because there's a lot of SEC players represented this season. So Max and I are in a league. It's a best ball league. We went out, made our draft choices this year, and we're going to just quickly reveal to you our teams. Are you ready, Max? I'm going to reveal your team first. And as I pull up your team on the screen, I'd like to know exactly like your thoughts coming out of this. Like, we're going to have to remove the banner here to see your last player. But
I got it.
So Max's team is currently represented. You got a little bit of SEC flavor here. You've got Keyshawn Hall from Auburn. You've got Devin McLaughlin from Vanderbilt. You got Mark Mitchell on there from Missouri. And then you've got a lot of other players elsewhere. We mentioned Koa Pete. You're going to see him tonight against Florida. Graham Ike. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. So as we're doing this draft, every time I put a player at the top of my queue, Max would just select this player, not knowing what was on there. I had Bruce Thornton, Graham Ike, like Keyshawn Hall. Like, I just kept going down the list, and Max just kept swiping every single time. Max, what is your overall thoughts on your team here?
Quick to explain, this is best ball, so it just means you draft the team, you don't touch it the whole year. It's just whoever scores the most points of your team at the end of the year wins. So you got to just nail the draft. Out of all these players, whoever scores the most out of 4 guards, 4 forwards, and 2 centers is your lineup for that week.
Centers. Oh.
So I wanted to monopolize the centers because there's not that many. So I made sure I got 4 high volume centers. And then I just went for straight volume. I went Dybanta first. I wanted to get a big time rebounder and scorer. Donnie Freeman is probably my best pick of this whole draft. He could put up like 20 points, 20 rebounds in every single game in the non-conference. And then, I kind of feel bad for everybody else in the league because I already won it. It's already over with this squad. So
Max talks about the centers here. I tried to filibuster to make sure that this whole center rule was just completely destroyed because, folks, here's what happened. There are so many players that are actual centers that are listed as forwards in this draft pool. I just simply thought that I was going to get some guys who were centers late in the draft. No. Turns out they were listed as forwards. So when you see my list of centers, it's not good. Max, with that, let's get to the SEC team basically here. I drafted nothing but SEC players, it seems, on my list. All right. As you can see, I only have 2 centers on my team, and that's not good. Now, Max, are we able to do trades? I'm not sure.
Nope.
If we can do trades. No trades? Oh, that's ridiculous.
Best ball.
No, best ball. By the way, I'm gonna go back to the commissioner here. I think these rules are ridiculous because some of these players that are forwards should be listed as centers. Okay, they should be listed as. Meleek Ewan is a center, is he not? Jackson Kohler is a center. Van Allen Lubin is a center. Like, these guys are centers. They're not forwards. So here's my team. SEC players aplenty. Jalen Lowe at Kentucky. Tahad Pettiford at Auburn. Ant Robinson at Missouri. Dayton Thomas at LSU. Malik Thomas. I got the Thomas boys here on the team. I got Nate Ament. I got Alex Condon. Malik Dia. Meleek Ewan. I got 2 Maleeks. I got 3 Maleeks on this team. Are you kidding me? And then I got Felix Okpara. Nothing against Okpara, Max, but I don't know that he's going to give me the points I need in terms of like actual scoring production. So I got Bamba and Akpara as my two centers.
What
And
were
I
your
don't feel
first
great
two
about
picks?
that.
Where'd you go 1-2? What were your first two?
My first two picks were Condon and Ejiofor.
Yes. Your forwards, I mean, whatever four forwards score the most points for you, it's going to be huge points.
So that's what I need, right? I need the forwards to make up the ground that I'm not going to have from the centers. So that was kind of my thinking once I realized that I was going to be screwed at the center position. It's ridiculous. The rule is ridiculous, by the way. In case
you know what we should do? We should, as well as updating throughout the year, we should just play against each other every single week and keep the record.
I think you're right. Yeah. I love my team. I just don't love the scoring system that makes it to where forwards are listed or centers are listed as forwards. That's just, I got a big problem with that.
You got to adapt mid-draft.
No, you don't. You got to get the rules right at the start. That's what's got to happen. So, all right. Anyways, my team, you're going to all be rooting on this season because I have way more SEC players. Felix Akpar, I need him to have a career season, scoring-wise. Anyways.
Keyshawn Hall to average 30 and 30.
We didn't snub LeBaron Philon, Big Baller Brett. It just he wasn't available.
Like first or second round.
He was going to be my pick, but I decided to go big, and then someone else picked him. No Josh Hubbard. Yep, he's not there. By the way, a walk on dirt. Can we get a hallelujah now that football's over and basketball game day is here? I agree. JQ was selected.
Yeah, JQ fell a little bit because we didn't know about his.
Yeah, I thought about picking him, but I was going to wait because I just didn't know if that would be the best idea.
Third round, I could have taken Hubbard. I could have done Hubbard third round, but I did Keyshawn Hall instead. I went Hall instead of Hubbard.
You need full production.
Yeah.
Full production. So I can still get JP if he's there, Sam. But he's probably listed. He's listed as a forward. He's not listed as a center. Guaranteed. So, yeah, pretty brutal. All right. There you go. Stuff. We'll have some fun with that this year. Some of you guys are like, who cares? Whatever. We just have fun with this thing. You kidding me? All right. I Bleed Orange asked, do you guys think Nate can be an All-American or is he too young? I think he can absolutely be an All-American. I don't think age has anything. I just think you could tell from the exhibition game. I know it was not pretty, like the whole thing, but like the guy still had a double-double.
Yeah.
Against Duke. So, I mean, he's going to be really good. I think it's just a matter of can they get the offense tweaked to where he's not having to do everything himself.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as they can do that, I think he's going to be fine.
Speaking of Tennessee, the craziest positional mishap on that fantasy listing, Jalen Carey was listed as a guard.
Are you kidding me?
I almost picked him.
See,
just to.
Here's my point. This from the start, I'm protesting this entire season because that is absurd. Like, there's no way that should be the case. So, absolutely absurd. All right. But yeah, see, he can be an All-American.
Yeah, I mean, got the potential for sure.
He does. Look, I think that's where, like we said earlier, in terms of what you're watching tonight, I know a lot of these should be games that are one-sided, but these are the kind of things that ultimately you can take away from these games. Is how are they using him offensively? Watch the offensive sets. Like, what are they trying to do? Is it just ISO, or is it, hey, we're doing this and this, and we're giving him a lot better situation where he doesn't have to just create everything himself. And I'm not saying he did that on every possession, but I know shot selection was a big, big talking point coming out of that Duke game. And so I think you want to see improvement there, even against a team that they should beat handily.
Yeah, I honestly think because, obviously, Florida-Arizona is the biggest game of the night by a long shot. And let's say this scenario happens. Say Arizona plays fantastic. They hit some tough shots. Florida, isn't clicking, and Florida loses by single digits. They don't get drilled, but they do lose. They were outplayed by Arizona. I will still feel rock solid about Florida if we get good games from Urban, from Alex Lloyd, from CJ Ingram, from one of the Brown brothers if they get in. Like, that's the main thing I want to see, because obviously we know the front court is the front court, and we trust Boogie to eventually get that with that talent. We think Boogie, if all things go well, could be a first-team SECer, 100%. But the one thing I don't know and that I really, really want to see is this first line of backups behind. It's not Denzel Aberdeen anymore. So what is the rotation and how do they look? Even if Florida does come out of this game with a loss, if you got CJ Ingram in double figures or something and he looks great, I'll still feel pretty good. I really want to see this bench for Florida.
Let's see. Let me answer this one real quick from Sam. Is Mercer good for their league? So Mercer, let's see. Blue Ribbon picked Mercer 8th in the SoCon out of 10 teams. Mercer's strength is their guard play. Tennessee should absolutely dominate the glass, I think, in this game. So that's probably where you see Tennessee. I think just should be in attack mode. I think they should win the battle up front. Tennessee just got more depth, I think. So that's probably going to be the story, I would think, in this one. And I know Adam asked, how is Boogie going to do in Golden's system? I mean, I feel like we talked about that a little bit, right? Yeah, I mean,
great.
I think he is. I think he's going to be really good. So, yeah.
I think the most underrated part of his game is his defense. We're not talking about his defense. That's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's going to be big for this team. And again, if you've got him defending on the perimeter versus what you're going to get from the other guys, I mean, remember, Tommy H can basically guard anybody. So, yeah, I think they're going to be fine. And, Isaiah Brown, we talked about Alex. So, like, Florida's got some guys, too, we barely talked about. Right. Just because of all the guys coming back or the top transfers, but Florida's still got a pretty well-rounded roster overall. So, yeah. All right.
Super chat.
Oh,
we're in.
Super chat.
We're in. And what a great one it is.
You guys got about 10 minutes if you want the Sanders read. Micah Hanlogden appreciation post from Sean, $3 super chat. We appreciate that, Sean. Hanlogden, guy that isn't really talked about a lot outside of just, hey, Florida's got their top 4 front court guys returning. But like Hanlogden could be starting on how many SEC teams?
He was a starter 2 years ago on an SEC team.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, you just put him anywhere else and at any time. I mean, the guy can just make significant contributions. So, Hurt Life Rick's here, excited for the LSU Tigers. I now have some rooting interest with Dayton Thomas. Markel Sutton. I think I'm going to go take it a step further. Like, I still don't think people are talking a lot about Jalen Reed. And we mentioned, like, how much the return of this guy is going to improve that team because he didn't play in many games last year. And with the ones he did play in, he was very, very productive and a very good player. Was going to probably be, Max, the second best player on the team?
Yep.
So, I mean, having him back, like, that's significant too. So if you look at LSU, I think they are going to be improved. We just always say the same thing. They can be better. It's just, can you move up in the standings? And can you still win enough games to make it work? I think they've got a schedule that's very manageable up front. To me, I mean, they should probably be 6-7-0 to start the season. But that's on paper. And you just gotta figure out how you take care of your business and win those games. So important for them.
I was talking to Neil Blackman this weekend, and he was like, I'm not going to lie. McMahon has been saying he has got an absolute next-level stud with Markel Sutton, and he's a sleeper right now, big time. And in my visual depth charts, I have him on the bench right now just because Robert Miller was so good to finish the year last year. And like you said, Jalen Reed's start before he got injured was fantastic. So we haven't talked about Markel Sutton too much, but his numbers in the exhibitions were ridiculous. So this, honestly, LSU, I kind of view them roster-wise very similar to Tennessee's build, where you have a great deep front court where you can just line swap. We haven't even talked about Mike Nwoko pretty much at all. And this is a proven SEC productive big man. So that 4-man front court, just like Tennessee has. Tennessee is actually 5 if you want to add in Dwayne Brown. But love that 4-man front court for LSU. Love Dayton Thomas at the point. What the heck's in between? Who knows? Could be Ron Zipper. He had a little bit of an illness, missed the exhibition. Could be Rashad King, ultra productive. PJ Carter, Max McKinnon. Who knows? But that's the big question for me with LSU. What's in between? Because, man, I love the point, and I love the front court.
Shout out to Ryan, $1.99 super chat here on National Dennis Gates Day. It is. As we said, the Tigers head to Howard tonight. Blake says, my favorite show and favorite time of year, let's go. You know what I say, Max? I say, let Blake cook. That's what I say. What do you think about that one? No?
It's day one. You're
too early in the season for that? Okay.
Gotta get warmed up.
Ryan brings up Ruben Chinyelu. Progressed last year. Yeah, I think that there's another storyline I didn't mention. I kind of tied it into Akpara a minute ago, having fun with the fantasy thing. But I think I'm curious to see, like, Akpara and Chinyelu specifically. We, or at least I did, I ranked them as the two top front courts in the SEC. And I feel like the centers are a big part of that, just in terms of, like, what they bring, defensively, rebounding, like potential shot block, like all that kind of stuff. I think those are two candidates for me. And I'm not just rooting this on because I need Akpara's production in the fantasy league. But, like, I think you can see it, right? Like, you can see these two taking a big jump this year. And, it's kind of what do they add to their game in terms of, what other elements maybe are there? Are they a little bit more scoring, touch? Like, how much more do we see from that? Because, again, these aren't two guys who are going to be in positions where they have to score a lot. But I think those two in particular are pretty fascinating, especially – we've talked about the center position in some of these other teams this year too, right? It's like, okay, let's see what we get from Alabama's front court.
Right.
We've talked about some of the other teams. And so I think it's kind of a fascinating study this year on those two guys in particular.
Yeah, I mean, when we did the Florida preview, Chinyalu's offense, big talking point of the offseason, him becoming more efficient around the basket. But Sean brings up a great matchup. Chinyalu and Owaka. There's no, I don't think there's any WWE or UFC tonight. But if you want to get
Barr, hold on a second, pal. There's WWE Raw tonight. Are you kidding me?
Oh, is there?
I'm gonna have multiple TVs going. Come on, man. We got a new We got a new world heavyweight champion. Are you kidding me, Max? Oh, that's it, Max. Just get back to this basketball talk. We'll get to the other stuff later.
Who's doing that on a Monday?
Are you Max Barr? Monday Night Raw, the longest-running episodic weekly television show in the history of civilization, Max, going all the way back to 1993, and you're telling me you didn't know Monday Night Raw was on a Monday?
I've never watched WWE in my life.
Unbelievable.
Well, there's no real combat sports tonight.
There will be. Florida and Arizona front courts going at it in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Oh, I agree, Phil. Complete disrespect to the new world heavyweight champion. Oh, my.
I've never watched the WWE in my life.
Oh, my God.
Sorry, WWE people.
Drink out of your Game Time Sidekicks cup there. And meanwhile, the chat is fully embracing my side of this argument. But anyways, we'll continue to whatever else you're going to talk about.
WWE?
This is great. The chat is just completely behind me here.
Stuff?
Everyone, Max. Millions upon millions of people. So, but I'll say this. If you're looking for your most WWE-like game tonight, it is Florida, Arizona. Because I think you're going to get an absolute battle in the front court. Body slams, clotheslines. Incredible.
Maybe we'll see a little bit of Meekic tonight.
You think so?
Yeah, given the Arizona, I mean, geez, Arizona, Tommy Lloyd's talked about we want to be a team that lives at the free throw line. You get Rubin or Condon in a little bit of trouble, you might see some Meekic.
Could be. All right. Let's see what else we got. I'm having to wade through all the WWE talk. By the way, we've got some AEW fans out there as well. Florida Basketball Hour, the one and only, coming through with a $10 super chat on day one of the college basketball season. Max and Blake, absolute legends. Dennis Gates level legends. Tommy H level legends. Wow. Now that's high praise.
Now. Whew. That's some high praise there from the basketball.
Bring a tear to our eye. 55 minutes into the first. I mean, it's something. By the way, Holly, yes, you should expect a reaction stream this evening. Yes.
Yep.
we will be talking at some point tonight after Florida Arizona. Maybe a little bit after the game. We'll kind of we'll time it based on the finishes of other games, how handily things are going in those and all that. So,
yeah, get ready for like someone's gonna have a scare tonight. I don't want to say someone's going down tonight, but
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna be 10 minutes left in the second half, and we're gonna be going, oh no, this can't happen. Someone's gonna be in that position.
Yeah, I think so. Sean, Tommy H's first game at the wing. Oh my God. Yeah. Then our guy Neil bringing up, yes, Koa Pete, the chiseled mound of rebound. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see him for sure. All right, let's wade through the rest of the comments talking about The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Hardy Boys.
I'm shocked this many people watch WWE. I've never seen it in my life.
Well, this is, I mean, again, we're starting to really, really peel back the layers here. Glowman Mike, you can't raise sons without WWE, okay? All right, we're going to get to this from Justin. $2 super chat. Who's covering tonight, Max? Do we want to give out our FanDuel Rock Lock of the day, perhaps?
What a question.
FanDuel Rock Lock. Can I cheat? Can I go non-SEC game?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going non-SEC game. What's the BYU Villanova one?
It was out to 9.5. 9.5.
BYU minus 9.5. That's my FanDuel Rock Lock of the day. Okay. Oh, Justin's saying no, I can't. Well, then I gotta pick an SEC.
You got any reason? What is it? Is it the BYU side? Is it the Villanova uncertainty?
It's a combination.
It's
a combination of the two.
I won't be placing any actual currency on day one. Recipe for disaster. But I do like Missouri minus 19.5 at Howard. I think that line is just short because it's like, ooh, they're on the road and everything. You don't know. Bryce Harris. I think this Missouri team is just going to physically crush them. They might be up by 20 at the half, and you're like, how did I not take minus 20? I like Mizzou.
It's a tough one for me.
I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't play it, but I think it's a little short.
Yeah, I don't like these at all. This is gonna sound bold. I'm gonna go Alabama. I know it's 34.5 or 35.5. I still think Alabama takes care of business. I'm gonna go with the Tide.
Why I wouldn't play Missouri. Like I think that line is short, but I wouldn't play it because Gates also likes to mess around with the lineups early in the season. I mean, remember it was like Boateng starts, plays 2 minutes, and then doesn't play again. Like he just looks around for the lineups early. So like that's another thing is, know what you're wagering on tonight. If you are, say, if you take Vanderbilt against, Lipscomb, you're not just taking a team against another mid-major. You're taking a local rival with a ton of emotion packed behind it, which is different than just a normal opener. Like, don't just be, it's a mid-major minus 24. Sure. Like a lot more that goes into this.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we got here? By the way, Ken's calling a shot here. Villanova's going to beat BYU tonight. Which, if so, then we can really start to establish our trends of fade certain people's picks. Myself there. So that's the thing. Like Villanova is going to be Kevin Willard, man. He can work some magic sometimes, but I just think that BYU roster. Oh man, it's hard not to feel good about them in this game. So
the only thing would be like a similar reason to Missouri, where BYU has like 15 guys that can genuinely play double-digit minutes, and he might throw around some lineups.
Big Baller Brett, bad decision on Alabama. Big Baller Brett wanted to pick North Dakota money line earlier because, it's Big Baller Brett, and he wants to do the reverse mojo on Alabama. So, but we'll see. All right. we're out of here.
Real quick.
What else we got?
I'm on VSiN right now, and I'm going to give you the splits. On BYU -9.5, 75% of bets, 76% of money. So heavy public on BYU. And then for the Gators, I'm expecting a similar line if I could find it. Gators are much more even. Only 44% of the handle and 55% of bets. So dead even on Arizona, Florida. Public is pretty much
split. That makes me feel better about Florida.
It does. So, I actually like Florida a lot more now. I thought the public would be all over them.
That's what I thought. So, all right. Well, we'll see. All right, guys. It's here. 25-26 college basketball season tips off. It's already tipped off now. But we'll be back tonight with thoughts. As we said, turn on your notifications. Hit the subscribe button. Remember, too, before you head out, really think about hitting that join button to join the membership because, my goodness, folks, I'm going to put this in. I don't know if this is the right button, but we're going to throw it on here as well. But it's also on mobile now. Join the membership tier. You get a lot of bonus content this season, as we've been teasing. We'll be doing live predictions this year. This is the current plan. Yep. So once we start doing full game slate predictions, you'll get those. Duke, Texas preview coming up as well. And, yes, lots of fun stuff.
If you want a hat, a mug, Southeastern 16 store, get your gear.
Yep. Check it out. If you want to buy some merch for the new season, we'll put the link in that in the comments as well. And, yeah. SEC football power rankings coming up here in about 15 minutes on the channel. So check that out. Some of you, football season's already over. Have no fear. Basketball season is here. We appreciate you guys watching as always. We will talk to you tonight here at Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.